Stress comes from all the open loops, all the things that we need to do. Stress comes from that list you just wrote down. I think it created an awareness for many of you as to, oh my goodness, how much do I really have going on? You're fighting a losing battle without having a system to get it done. So let's talk about the hindrances to managing time. There are 8 hindrances that I've defined. Number 1, the masochism of feeling busy, stemming from the addicted mind. You see, folks, we've been taught a terrible lie. We've been conditioned to think that busy equals success. Busy does not equal success. In fact, many of the people in this audience wouldn't know what to do with themselves if they weren't busy. We've become addicted to feeling busy. We feel like it's normal. Busy doesn't equal success. Organized execution equals success. Imagine the amount of action items that we had as a team for this event. In excess of 500. 500 action items. I personally had in excess of 100. That's busy. But had I not had organization, a system for implementation of those action items, busy wouldn't have equaled success. Busy would have equaled chaos. Busy would have equaled failure. In fact, I would profess to you that for many of you, busy does equal failure because you're trying to manage busy with this. And once again, and I'm going to continue to pound this into your head, it doesn't work. Number 2, lack of an inbox, a home base, a place to put things when things come up. Now, I have 4 inboxes. You probably have 2 of these 4. The first is my voicemail. That's my first inbox. By definition, it's an inbox because people dump crap into it all day long. My red light's on. I didn't ask for it. They just keep dumping messages in there. That's an inbox. The second inbox is the inbox on my desktop, my Outlook inbox. People are dropping things in there all day long too, 75, 80 emails a day. Definitely an inbox. But I have 2 extra inboxes, and these are for the things that are in my head. These are for the meetings. These are for the mail, the magazine articles, all that kind of stuff. And they look like this. The first is a portable inbox. It's just a file folder that says inbox on it. I keep it in my briefcase with me at all times. So when I get on an airplane, and I'm going to fly for 3 hours, I know that my mind's going to go bananas because I'm sitting there in quiet time. My mind is unoccupied. It's not being engaged by anything. I'm not doing anything. Maybe I've got my iPod on. So what happens whenever you're unengaged? Your mind starts working, just like it did on the way home in the car, just like it does when your head hits the pillow, and I start coming up with ideas. Well, I know as soon as I sit down, the first thing that I do is put this thing on the cup holder, right next to me. My little ubiquitous idea capturing tool, because I'm going to have all kinds of thoughts, and I want to get them out of my mind. And I just start writing them down. As soon as my flight lands, I reach up into the overhead compartment, grab this little inbox, tear those sheets of paper off, and throw them in there. When you see the system, you'll understand why it's important to get everything in your inbox. But the bottom line is this, is that you need to have an inbox with you at all times, a traveling inbox. When you're out on the road visiting real estate offices, you walk out of that real estate office. You have a couple of ideas, thoughts, next actions, I need to call this person back, etc. Don't try to keep it up here. Write it down on your paper, get it into your ubiquitous idea capturing tool, and get it into your inbox. Your inbox is your home base. It's the place you can rely upon. My 4th inbox looks like this. It's on my desktop. On my desk, I should say, in my office. What is it? It's an email. Can I do it in 2 minutes or less? Heck no, it's a proposal that's 27 pages long. What is the next action? Print it, put it in my inbox. What is it? It's the mail. Can I do it in 2 minutes or less? No. Where does it go? In my inbox. What is it? It's a magazine article. Can I read it in 2 minutes or less? No, I'm not Evelyn Wood. Where do I put that magazine article? In my inbox. At the end of the day, all of your inboxes need to be processed to 0. We'll talk about that in a moment. This will all come full circle for you. If you're feeling as if I'm going in different directions, don't worry. When you see the system, you'll understand it clearly. Number 3, lack of inventory awareness, an inability to prioritize surrendering to latest and loudest. For many of you, this will ring extremely true, and I will talk about it in a few minutes in more detail. But the reality of it is this, folks. Your mind is only capable, as I said, of holding 10 to 12 thoughts in its conscious state in any one given time. I think I've proven to you with that thought prompter mind up that you don't even know all the things you need to do. I bet you there were things that you wrote down on that paper that you didn't even realize you had to do until I gave you those words. They weren't in your conscious mind, they were in your subconscious mind. So how can you effectively prioritize correctly and choose what the highest payoff activities are if you don't have an awareness of all of the inventory of the things that you need to do? Right? If you truly don't have the ability to assess all that there is to do, won't you naturally then pick the wrong things? Number 4, lack of a clear job description and clarity as to what makes you money. For many loan originators, this is an enormous problem. They don't really understand what the high payoff activities are. They don't really understand what their job description is, what they should be doing every day. And this clouds priorities. They choose to do the wrong things. How many times have you chased down an underwriting condition and sacrificed getting another loan? Thank you for your honesty. Lots of times. We've all done it. I've done it many times. How many times do you end up working on a file that's ablaze? It's a fire. It's going to crash and burn, and you work on it all day long. How many of you have ever done that? Entire room. What did you sacrifice by doing that? Why did you make the decision to do that? I bet many of you have had that happen and the next day looked back on it and said, man, that was really silly. I know I used to think like that all the time. I was like, wow, I really wasted yesterday. I didn't need to be spending all my time on that. You see, your mind is very emotional. And when your mind is managing your time and tasks and all that you have to do, it surrenders, as I said earlier, to latest and loudest. Whatever screams at you at that exact moment is what, and comes at you the most recently, is what you drop everything to do. And as a result of it, you cost yourself significant time, significant amounts of money, and you create a lot of stress for yourself because you don't know what your job description is and all of the activities that are in front of you. Lack of a dashboard that puts you in the right place when the action is possible. This is my dashboard. This is what I'll be teaching you today. It's in Microsoft Outlook. This is where all of my to-dos reside, all of them. None of them are in my inbox and Outlook. None of them are in my voicemail at the office. None of them are in my inbox on my desk. They're all in here. Everything gets processed from your inboxes into this system. This dashboard tells me at any time that I need to know what I have to do, what I need to do, what I can do, and it's categorized in a very common sense way, and I'll be showing you how to create that for yourself in a few moments. Please write this down. What you see and review, you will do. What you see and review, you will do. I know that you have the PowerPoint for it, but please write it down anyway. Remember what Tony talked about on opening night, about how much more you retain when you write things down? Saving voice messages, the 6th hindrance to time management. How many of you have at least 5 saved voicemails in your system right now? You just love the sound of the person's voice that much to where you want to listen to the message again? I mean, I don't get it. Why are we saving voicemails? In fact, I would profess that they need to destroy this feature. It shouldn't exist. It shouldn't. I'm not kidding. It's a complete and total waste of time. You've listened to the message already. What is it? It's a voicemail. Can I do something about it in 2 minutes or less? No. What is the next action? To get it into my system. But it isn't to save it and to go listen to it again. How many of them do you have in there? 15, 20? Think about how much time you're wasting by going back and listening to all those messages over and over and over again. What could you do with that time if you had it back? How much more time could you spend with your children or your spouse? Or how many extra workouts could you get in if that's what you need to do to improve the balance in your life, if you weren't wasting time? Number 7, opening and closing emails. Let me define something for a second. A gray email is an email you've opened and said, holy crap, I don't want to deal with this, and closed it. Okay? Like it's going to go away or it's just going to automatically take care of itself. Okay? And then a black email is one that you haven't viewed yet. Okay? So raise your hand if you have at least 10 gray emails in your inbox. Yeah. Some of you have a lot more than 10. Last year when I was on this stage, I took you into my inbox in Outlook, and I took you into this system, just a quick glance, much less detail than what you're going to see today. And I was shocked. I got a standing ovation because I had an inbox that was at 0. My inbox is at 0 every day. I mean, to me, it's just normal. I mean, I can't go home with emails in my inbox. I don't have gray emails. What is it? It's an email. Can it be done in 2 minutes or less? No. What is the next action? Print it. What is the next action? Put it into my system. But the next action is not close it and hope that it goes away. This is an actual inbox from one of my employees. 194 emails. 60% of them are gray. I guess the first thing that happened when I saw this was that I had a minor heart attack. I mean, it stressed me out so much just looking at it that I couldn't believe it. I was like, how does this person, and this person is an unbelievable employee of mine. I mean, she's amazing. She's one of the best employees I have. But the first thought that came into my mind is how much inefficiency is created by that. See, she's trying to use this to manage her tasks, and she can't. It's impossible. How do you create order out of that? How many times do you need to reopen those emails to even know what they're about? To try to remember what they said in the first place? What would you be able to do if you had all of that time back? What would you be able to do with those emails and all of these tasks if they were in a tight little system that was categorized correctly, that was there for you when you needed it and when you had the time to do something about it? What must her life be like when she comes in the morning and sees that? Talk about starting off your day on a rotten note. You're not exactly starting off with a fighting chance of getting things done. What would her life be like if it looked like that? What would it feel like to you if, when you walked in, and what would it feel like if when you checked out at the end of the day? Right before you left, you took a look at your computer screen and it looked like that every day. Raise your hand if that would feel pretty good. Yeah, I mean, the drive home would be so much more pleasant. Probably could reduce a lot of road rage in Los Angeles if we taught everybody this system. It's probably why people are so angry. Because they feel like that hamster. Kids have 2 hamsters and they have these wheels, and I watch the hamsters run on the wheel. I'm sure that's what some of us feel like. We're on this wheel, it's just, we're going nowhere, fast, real fast, nowhere. Whoops, back one slide, please. I clicked twice, thank you. No, I didn't actually. Lastly, reacting rather than being proactive, the last hindrance to time management. Now, loan originators are the easiest example of anybody that I can think of when it comes to this because I've seen it for years. I used to do it myself. Let me give you an example of being reactive because you weren't proactive. You take a loan application, you turn it into your processor, you lock the loan, 10 days go by, your processor pre-underwrites the file. He or she is getting ready to submit the loan to the underwriter for approval, and they say, I need the Smith-Barney account number, I need another pay stub, and I don't have the divorce papers. So they come to you right in the middle of your day, and they say, I've got to deliver this loan by tomorrow or else we're going to lose the lock. Rates have gone up by 1/4. I don't have this, this, and this. And you have to drop everything you're doing, completely react, because this is screaming at you latest and loudest. And all the intentions that you had for accomplishments that day go by the wayside because you're having to react as a result of not being proactive. See, you didn't take the application thoroughly in the first place. You didn't collect all the documentation up front like you should have. And now all of a sudden, you are ineffectively managing your time. because you're having to react to something that could have been avoided in the first place.